What's up guys, it's Selka and welcome to this weekly analysis. So this week is probably one of the most important week in terms of analysis, as we've seen some move during the week that changed completely the structure for midterm and even sometimes long term of some assets right there. So make sure to watch the video until the end if you want to be sure about the direction and what's coming next regarding those assets, of course using the wave theory like usual. So with that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to start with Bitcoin, and I'll be talking about the bigger time frame a little more on at least Bitcoin and Ethereum, but the other assets as well, simply because during the week we've seen moves that literally could change the bigger time frame, and that's why we'll be looking at it today. So feel free to look at those corrective pattern in the top right corner if you want to understand better the analysis by the name I use to name those corrective pattern. And we're going to start with Bitcoin. Like I said in one of my videos, it was the bigger time frame analysis of Bitcoin and Ethereum on why I'm bullish for 2023. I told you guys that I was looking for a buy in the daily chart. Alright, so daily and more, this is a zone where you look for buys. Alright, you cannot sell in the zone, you should not sell in the zone, you look to buy. This is for long term. That means it doesn't mean that you can short the market in this zone. It only means that you look to buy if you're there for investment or there to accumulate some Bitcoin. This is the right place to do so. All right, so we were looking for buys in the daily chart, and basically this impulse could have come in any at any time. All right, it doesn't mean that you have a smaller corrective structure in the smaller time frame to make a new low that will avoid this impulse. You can get it at any moment because impulse like this starts at any moment. All right, and sometime I would say half of the time it starts by making a corrective structure invalid. All right, so at first you have a corrective structure, then since you have an impulse, you expect another impulse down, but it could be that this corrective structure starts to make an impulse. All right, and that's one of those 10% time that we cannot really guess. All right, so we don't have 100% accuracy when it comes to impulse and correction. We know that most of the time we're getting another impulse, but sometimes 10 to 20% chance where we don't have this impulse and it could simply turn the other way. All right, so somewhere soon it should have done it, and you see it didn't do it right there. It didn't do it on this regular flat. It didn't do it on this regular flat as well. This one as well. This as well. Where it also could have been right there or right there or right there, or even now it's getting right there. But you see on how many time it happened and where it happened only once in this and all these times, and that's why most of the time this corrective pattern goes toward downside if it coming from downside. All right. Now you get it. We don't have 100% accuracy. We know that the more we are gaining deeper, the more we have some chance of getting that reversal. And sometimes we complete that small corrective pattern before having the impulse and the flag that we're waiting for in the bigger time frame. But sometimes we just don't, and we have the impulse trade up. And doesn't mean that you cannot buy this. Simply means that you will need to wait for a flag and confirm that we're going for an upside. And that's what we will be looking during the week. All right, super important. That is what we are looking, at least for the long term. Now in the smaller time frame, let's see. And yeah, before I get into the smaller time frame, remember this is looking like an end of a structure. Usually we have big impulses, small corrective structure, big impulses. So you see how these impulses are big. All right, and when it comes that you have big corrective structure and small impulses, so big corrective structure right there, a running flat, and the small impulses, that means that you're getting near the end. So you see how it comes parabolic. I mean, in that sense, it's crawling down, and that's where you're losing in momentum and you risk to have an impulse and a flag. All right, so that's why taking shorts right there was not a super good idea. You could have made it, but it was in smaller time frame. But in general, in this zone, you're looking to accumulate and to buy for a long term. All right, So unfortunately, this piece it was probably an expanding that didn't made it, so this didn't come and break the low like expected, or probably just a contracting like I said, and this being the bottom, this the impulse. If that's a corrective structure, that looks ugly, but either way, just take it simple, keep it simple. This is an impulse and we're waiting for the correction. All right, so my last short-term analysis for Bitcoin remains the same. All right, only this move was a 4-hour move in my last analysis, and now it's a daily move. All right, you see how it became pretty impulsive. Look at this one, which is a daily move. It's almost the same size. Look at this one. This one is probably a weekly move. All right, this one right there, weekly move. This one daily move. So you see it's getting almost the same size, and now that it changed the bigger structure, as there's few scenarios for that. One of them, all right, is the simplest one, is where you get a correction that you could see at least in the 4 hours. So we need something that we can at least see in the 4 hour. All right, if that's this something looking like this, it's perfect. That means that we're going upside. It will be a perfect zone to buy. All right, now it won't be as clean as I draw it, so right there we will be waiting for at least a recognizable pattern that we know of. So one of those 4 corrective pattern. If that's a regular flat, that's perfect, but at least it needs to be bigger, because from now in the 4-hour chart I can see nothing. All right, this is probably the start of something. If it keeps ranging there, this will be at least okay for another push up, but I'm not sure as of right now. This means nothing. All right, it could be something like this that start making a flat and then dumps. All right, it could literally be the same thing, and that's why it's not enough. All right, it's clearly not enough. Now in those scenarios, you have the first one being a corrective pattern for one more push up, like I said, and the second one is a scenario that is possible but I don't like at all, is this running flat. All right, this could be an A move, this a B move with a running flat inside it. So a B move like this, so this being your A move, this your B, and this could literally be your C before having another drop. All right, so this could be it, right? But do I think it will be this? I don't think so. First of all, your A move looks way too corrective. In my opinion, this is a correction on its own. All right, and this is the impulse, so that was your other impulse. Now just because of this running flat looks ugly. All right, and then you have this C wave that starts looking like this. So a C wave that starts by looking like this also is not really looking good. All right, it's not like this move doesn't look like this one anymore. All right, at first it was with small corrective pattern and impulses. Now with this laser sword at the end, it's not really looking similar. Now the best thing you can do seeing this pattern is keep in mind this downside scenario. Right, you keep in mind that if it doesn't flag, it's not worth buying. All right, you keep that in mind, but you also look for literally what I wrote right there. It's a flag. You look for that, because if you get this, then you know that the running flat won't happen anymore, or at least will have pretty much less probability. Now don't be greedy, because this flag it needs to look at least similar to this, because if you get something like this, and that's the third scenario, so there's actually 3 scenarios for this pattern. If you get something like this, it's no good. All right, so if you get something like this, then this could be literally a bigger corrective structure for one more push up. All right, it's really too early to say, as this is the part that will take the most of the time, and it's not here already, so we cannot see it. But at least if it starts to flag above, all right, so somewhere above this line, let's say, or at least flags right there, so near this top, then it means another push up. And you see if you see it makes a returnment like this and flags like this, that means that you could be looking for a bigger corrective structure than a drop. So too early to say, but that's a scenario that you need to keep in mind. Now what we will be looking at is that small flag, like I said, for one more push up. Right, so I took a little bit longer for Bitcoin, but I think it will be almost the same for every altcoin. So let's say Ethereum right now. Ethereum, like I said in all my analysis as of right now, since that low is not broken, we're looking for an up move that will come and break the top before eventually a drop if it's meant to be, and if it's not meant to be, then we will have a flag above that top to tell us that we're going up. All right, so Ethereum, nothing has changed, and the bigger picture also, we're looking for that. All right, now smaller time frame, like I said in the analysis from my last video, I told you guys that this is, people will be trading over that trend line, and this might flags. All right, this is what you're looking for if you want to get into the trade to come and break the top. You need this. All right, this is what you're looking for, and if you don't have this, then you don't trade, simply because this could drop at any moment also. All right, just like Bitcoin, this could drop, and if you don't have that flag, then it's risky, especially if you get a drop like this and a flag, then you don't take the buy. This could literally drop. All right, we have no clue again about that corrective structure, because even with that last impulse like this, it is still possible that this is a corrective structure for another push down, and that's why compared to Bitcoin, Ethereum is risky. Even though the target is clear, we will break this top compared to Bitcoin where we don't have any target. So Ethereum clearly better to trade, but you need that same flag as I was talking with Bitcoin, right? So for Link, this one, all right, so this one I was expecting it to break the low. I have no clue if it broke or not. I don't think so, and since it didn't break, then you're either in that running flat, which I think it was an expanding flat right there. So let's say it's an expanding flat right there after that down impulse, then it came and broke the low. Now the thing you know, because this pattern is messy, but the thing you know is that you're stuck in this range. That means that this could flag, give one more push up, break those top maybe, all right, and then go back down. So probably be looking at buys right there, and the best way to trade this one is to keep in mind that this is the low, this is the high, and you're looking for setups when you're near that low to come up, and you're looking for sell setups when you're near that top to come down. All right, simply because this eventually will come and break the low, as it's a correction for that drop. All right, so it's a correction for that drop, and it will eventually come and break the low. That's why it's better to take those and not those. But now this is short term, as in the bigger time frame, you're looking for this to eventually go up, and that's why if it goes up and down to break the low one more time before an up move, then it's perfect to look for buys. All right, but when you come near that top, you watch out, because you will need that flag in bigger time frame to make sure you're in the right direction. All right, so you will need something like this to make sure you're in the right direction. So Link, not my favorite one. I would not be trading this one this week at least. Now Matic, I think we had the perfect analysis in our last weekly analysis, so make sure you come check it out. But this was an up move right there, so sorry, I'll make it. So an up move, a drop, correction, another drop, and then an up move. So this is called a running flat. You can see in the pattern right there, but this is a running flat, and this means that as long as this top is not broken, super important, you'll probably have a drop to come and retest the low. So from this zone right there, look for sell setup, and remember what is a sell setup is where you have a drop and a corrective pattern in smaller time frame. This is where you enter, so either there with a limit order under that flag. All right, you either enter in both are possible. It depends on your strategy, but this is what you're looking for. All right, now BNB. So BNB also something I was expecting this to be a true wave corrective pattern to come and retest the low. Now seeing how this went up, we could change the analysis. It depends exactly on what it does from this point. So if it starts to range for a long time, this could be another flat to come and retest the low. Now from what I have, I cannot say. The only thing I know is that we're probably looking for a sell for this pattern, all right, not this one but this one, all right. So this up move, correction, up move, I would be looking for sells, as we're probably going to retest the low. Now in the bigger time frame, and it's something you need to know, is that this pattern could be literally a regular flat, and you have it in the top right corner. This is a clean structure that could come and retest the top, but because of that piece, this can make another new low before retesting the top. So it will be super important right now to see if it flags. See, if it flags like this, then you could go straight up for the big picture, but I don't think so. Usually these move when they want to go, they do something like this and they come up, so they don't start to range like this, make up move, down move, up move. This just means that people are still selling and this is not ready to take off. Usually they take off like this. You see, impulse, small flag, impulse, small flag, and they take off. Now it's probably not ready, and that's why maybe a new low for this one before the up move. So this one not ready. X, nothing has changed in the bigger picture. Now this one, I told you I was seeing this running flat for a new drop, all right, before the actual bigger running flat, which is with this one, all right. So I think it's messy right there, but you see there's a small one right there, possibly, then come back down, then makes the bigger one, so something like this, all right. Now let me make it simple. This retracement right there we've got didn't break the low, and that means that you're still in this up move, and from what I see, I expect a drop, of course, but it could be simply the bigger running flat straight up for a drop, all right. So at some point right there, I'm expecting a drop for a downfall, all right. Now XMR pixel perfect, like I said in my last weekly analysis, this one went pretty well. As I was saying, this is going up and breaking the top simply because this pattern is an impulse, this is a regular flat, and you have them in the top right corner, and another impulse to come and retest the top. So this one was perfect. This is the cleanest one. I told you the cleanest one we had in the weekly analysis is this one. And for those that were in the trade, you need to be careful, as this can come and retest the low at any moment, all right. If that's a regular flat for downside, which could be, this will come and retest the low. Now the only thing to know if it will or not, and simply if it range. If it range, then you have less chance of it to come and break the low. So that's the thing that will tell you if you're still looking for sells or not in this zone. But at first you should be looking for sells and not buy until you have that thing, all right. So same thing that I'm looking for Ethereum, exactly the same pattern. You see, I'm looking Ethereum that it comes and break the top. So when I go to XMR, exactly what I'm looking for, but it already did it. So for Ethereum, huge opportunity. If you get a flag, it will be pretty good, as we're probably going to retest the top. So XMR, where was the flag? Maybe this one, all right. It's better when you get it from the bottom, but this one was the flag, you see, before it came to break the top. So Ethereum opportunity, we just need that flag. We need something like this. You see, this is in daily, and this is not even enough. I mean, it's enough, but it's not the cleanest one. So we expect something a little bit cleaner on Ethereum and in bigger time frame, something that will look like this, and it will be perfect, all right. So next step, look for sells and be careful, because if you get a flag, it's another push up, all right. Now Litecoin, I still think this is looking pretty corrective, all right. This is looking pretty corrective in my opinion. I would like to have that flag, all right. We are almost in the same it's almost the same thing for all cryptos. We want that flag to tell us that we're going higher, all right. And if we don't have it, most of them are starting pretty slow, and that means that you could have another drop, all right. Just the fact that you start slow makes it that you can have another drop, because you can start slow at first. See, this one started slow, then had a flag, all right. You see that flag right there? Before that flag, it could have been a correction for another drop, all right. Same thing, we need that flag, otherwise we can drop, and we don't want to be in the buy if we're dropping, all right. So in the smaller time frame, in the bigger time frame, looking for sells, but if it flags, look for one more push up, all right. Now this was a running flat, I don't think it's clean, but this is still a running flat. Another push up. Now from this zone, be careful. If you get a drop and a correction, then it's probably going to go down. All right, and the best thing to do that is simply put that trend line like this, and if it comes under the trend line and range, then it's probably going down. All right, so AVAX, I think we had, all right, so AVAX, let me remove that. AVAX is, there is chance that you go, this one is a little bit cleaner than Bitcoin in terms of running flat, if that's a running flat in bigger time frame. So if that's your A move right there, and this your B move, all right, until that point, all right, and this could be your C move. This won't break the top and come back down and be something like this. All right, this could be it. This is looking a little bit more impulsive than the Bitcoin one, so it could be, I mean, it has more probability than Bitcoin. Now I don't think so. I would not go for that, and there is an impulse right there, but it doesn't matter. I would not go for that. All right, I would wait for a corrective pattern, then an up move. All right, and if you see it correct too much, so something like this, then you could have another up move for a drop. All right, and again, people will be trading those trend line right there. People are trading them. That's why you get a little reaction. People are actually trading them, and even in this, all right, this is super important in the wave theory. This is a reason where you could have a correction, where people are trading something. When they trade a reaction like this on the trend line, this is where you start to see a range, and we know that we're specialists in terms of range because we know the different corrective patterns that are possible, and this is our time to shine. All right, so in this moment, that's where we're stoked, because we know what's coming next, and it's exactly sometimes where people are trading. So it could be Fibonacci point or just trend line like this. This is where you expect a correction, and that's why it will be super important to see what's coming next for AVAX. So in smaller time frame, I could see a push. I could see one more push if that's a running flat. I could see one more push right there, running flat. Then this could come up and retest the top. Now it could also be this a flat. All right, so for another drop and complete this flat if that's a contracting, or if this correction is already done. So I definitely could see another push up. All right, it could happen. Now, is it going to happen? I don't know. The thing is, if you break this low, if you break it and you give a correction after that, so if it break and give a correction, then it's looking down. All right, so be careful. And this move can even extend. All right, this move can even be a bigger correction. So if you start to range like this, then it will be perfect. It will simply be a bigger correction for up move, and this is what we want. All right, these small correction are not enough, because these one go up, break the top, and already are giving another correction. These are really not enough for us to confirm that upside in the bigger structure. All right, so keep that in mind and be careful of that move. EGLD, this one, all right, this one is probably a flat. I see this probably going up, so this move probably giving one more push up. Now it's the smaller time frame, and let's see what's coming in the bigger one. So bigger one, this is definitely a corrective structure. So the same move that I talked about Bitcoin and even AVAX, this one is definitely a corrective structure. As you know, it's nothing, it looks nothing like an impulse. This is an impulse, this is an impulse, this is a correction, right? So it came to break that low right there, or maybe right there, doesn't matter. So this could be a new structure. All right, this could literally be a new structure, but be careful, because there is still this possible running flat that I talked about in my last weekly analysis to come and retest the top. So EGLD, I was looking for buy, then probably a sell. We're still in the buy, and be careful because the sell could happen. I think you can give another push, all right, but it could really happen soon, all right, but doesn't mean it's gonna do it. All right, we want that flag. In most of those crypto, we want the flag. All right, super important, because they almost all have these scenario where you can go one more push down before having an up move. All right, and that's why we need it. So for that, I was looking for buy. My arrow is still there, exactly what I was looking for, simply because see right there, small correction, small impulse, small correction, small impulse. you see it starts to crawl, and that's why I like to put those little line like this, because you can clearly see that you're losing in momentum in this structure, and this one is even in daily. So you see in daily losing momentum, and that means you will at least have an impulse, and this impulse could go for maybe a running flat with this one, all right, for another drop again, just like the others. Maybe it will be with this one, all right. So this drop, this correction, drop, correction, now extend a bigger running flat. Now I don't really think so, because it could also be a running flat that is already done. But either way, watch out, there's a trend line, people will be trading it, there will be a correction, and it depends on that correction if we go up or not, all right. So we'll have time to see it probably next week, but this one needs to give a correction if you're going higher, all right. We want this, super important. Now DOGE, and it's the last one for cryptos. This one I was seeing a drop to break that low, all right. Now it didn't do a drop, and it even pumped, and this is where things get a little bit tricky. This is not enough for me to be a regular flat for a drop, for an up move, all right, to come and retest the top. It's not enough, but it doesn't mean that it won't happen, all right. You see a regular flat, always come and give a correction on that first retracement, but a correction that come near the top, all right. You sometimes give a retracement of at least 80 to 90%, or so 80%, let's say, of the first impulse down. So this impulse, this correction becomes 80% of that impulse, so it stops around there before you get another drop. So it's always something like this, and you see right there. Can I see some? All right, so let's just zoom in so we can see better, and I'll let you know what I'm talking about. But you see, let's say yeah, this one, which is pretty clean. You see how this regular flat right there give a first retracement, a correction that came near that top. So you see it's right there before having the drop. So just for information, we're going to look at it with the retracement Fibonacci, and you see it came at least to 61.8, all right, so at least to that point, and this is where you know that it's a regular flat, all right. So at least this point, generally that's where it goes. Now this one, I don't think it's even 6, I don't think it's even 0.5, all right. So yeah, it's not even 0.5, and that's why it could be a regular flat, all right. So let me remove that. It could be a regular flat, but it's not ready yet, so it can extend, do something like this, come back down, and then go up to make a bigger regular flat. So that's the thing with DOGE. That's the thing why I don't really like it for upside, and also because if you see, I can still see that move being a move rangy like this and giving up another push down. So that's why I don't like it. This really needs to come up higher than this and give another drop, or get a running flat instead, all right, even though it's better for a regular flat as of right now, but it really needs that in order to change and see that move as an up move, all right. Because from now what I see is that it started with a range, we got another impulse, and because all of the impulse that we have, it could be a running flat that's still in there. So maybe one with that big move eventually, but I don't really think so. But it could for most at least be a corrective structure for this piece, all right. Doesn't matter if it came pretty impulsive right there, all right, but it can still be a corrective structure with this piece. Now I think it will break the low, but seeing what it does right there, we'll need to wait. As I said, if it does this, then it will break the low, but if it comes up near that top, all right, so between those lines, then it could be a flat, all right. So that's it for crypto, and let's see indexes right now. All right, so for S&P, I was expecting downside. To me, this was a really clean sell setup, all right. So to be honest, this was a super clean sell setup, and this should have come and tagged the low. Now in terms of probability, most of the time you will see these type of setup come and break the low, all right. I probably a news, there must be a news or something that made this up move after ranging that much, all right. And it happens sometime, like I said earlier in the video, it happens sometime where a move starts ranging and then come back up. It's one of those rare case 10 to 20% chance that we cannot really forecast of, because to me this was looking like a correction, and this whole move was looking rangy like a correction, and that means that where you get both a bigger correction in bigger time frame and then an impulse and a smaller correction, that's your sell setup to come and retest the low, right? And like I said, it didn't do that, and now we need to double check the structure. Maybe there's a running flat in there, all right? Maybe this was a running flat and that was meant to come and retest the top, all right? I have no clue, but from what I see and in the bigger structure, like I said again, this is a correction definitely for that upside, all right? I don't know how much time it will last, but this could tag the top, come back down and go up, as much as it could tag the top, give a correction structure above the trend line, then go up, right? Both are possible, and it's too early to say. So as of right now, I still see this move pretty rangy for another drop. I would bet on that one, but it's really too early to say. We really need that corrective structure if we want it to come and retest the top. So for S&P, it's pretty clear. Unlucky on that sell setup. It was beautiful, all right, but next one will be cleaner, I guess. And this was still nice to try, all right, but I think we'll tag this top again, and then we'll see if we were dumping or if we're ranging to go up, all right? So we'll see. Nasdaq is, so definitely there's chance that these were running flat and not corrective structure that are done. There's chance that actually this was a running flat like this, and then this, so like this, your A move, B move, and C move, just like S&P, and this is an impulse that comes and tag the top. But if it does that, at least for Nasdaq, if it does that, it means that you're going for a bigger corrective structure, which is this A, this B, and this C, and this one is a regular flat, which it's meant to go down, all right? So basically this is still a correction for me. Even if it comes and tag the top, this will most likely come down, all right? Now again, there is a rare case where it starts with a corrective structure and goes up, all right? Then we'll see it. If it comes and tag the top and range, that means that you're probably done with this corrective structure, all right? And this is probably going to retest the top. Now, I really don't think so for Nasdaq and S&P. I would really be surprised if we go up from those setup, but it's possible, and I'll stay humble on that one. I would not say that it's going up where it has changed that it doesn't. So keep it simple. Tag the top, first step. If it range, then it's go up, all right? At least for a bigger move. And if it doesn't range, this could literally come back and tag the bottom, all right? If you ask me, I think it will come back and tag the bottom, all right? So US oil for this one, I was expecting a drop, all right? Did it drop? I think it started to drop, then it came back up. And see if that's a corrective structure. This one that's expanding flat. Is it possible that it is an expanding flat? It's absolutely possible. So it could be an expanding, retest the top, then come back down. So again, you have those corrective pattern right there. Expanding is where you break the low, but also the top of your first retracement. So you get a first retracement like this, A move. This is your B move, like this, having a small correction just right there in intern. So in that B move, you have a smaller correction, then a C wave that comes and break the A move and the top of the first impulse. So impulse A, B, C, then you have another impulse to come and break the top, all right? But all this still, to make it simple, all this still becomes a correction for another drop, since you've come with a drop starting this correction. So basically, I still keep this arrow. I just simply think we're gonna tag the top before going down. So I'll keep it like this for next week. Now gold, I was saying to you guys, this was clean. I have my arrow for some time now. I think someone asked for this analysis a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and I said this was a regular flat. You see A, B, C, and this is perfect to come and retest the top, right? Now, is it going to retest the top straight up on a straight line until it comes and break the top? It could be. We've seen it sometime right there, but usually it flags, all right? At some point, usually you have a little flag and it starts to go up and give one more push, all right? You never really see them going straight up like this. even though it could be possible. All right, so if you're not in the trade, it's too late. Somewhere right there, right there, right there, even from the bottom, maybe there's a flag even there. So this is where you could have gone for that trade. Now wait for it to come and break the top, and do not APPN. All right, do really not APPN in the top. All right, the reason why is in the bigger time frame, this is probably a correction for another push up, break the top, and then come back down to make a running flat right there. You see, so A move, B move, C move, and then you have your first impulse, and then this will start a new trend. Now the thing is, and it reminds me a little bit of Bitcoin in terms of this is the type of correction we're looking for, or impulse right there. All right, even though it's not weekly, might be daily, but this is what we're looking for. We want something big, all right, like this, to make us think that we'll go higher. All right, we really want something big. The reason why is because this impulse is now something big. All right, the fact that this was a big down impulse for daily, maybe even weekly, then we've got a big correction. Right, it's logic. You get a big impulse, you need a big correction, then this is becoming a big impulse. And if you get small correction, these are not enough, as there will be small correction until you find that bigger one. It's only a matter of time. If you have a big impulse, it will come with a big corrective structure. Right, you don't think that it will never happen. It will. So don't think that you're missing something, so you will FOMO on this move thinking it will do that. I tell you right now, this has really not a lot of chance of doing that. Even right there, I'm surprised by the fact this went up like this, because this even don't have a lot of chance of going up like this pretty quick. Yeah, like this. So basically the chances are pretty near zero. I'd say 10 maybe. So anyway, so for gold, be careful, do not APPN at the breakout of this top. Now DXY, I'm still expecting this correction. All right, it did happen, a small one right there. All right, a small regular flat right there for another push up, but it's not enough. We need something bigger. As same thing as I just said literally right now, this impulse is becoming a big impulse for bigger time frame. So maybe a weekly impulse, we need a big correction, and it will come. So maybe when DXY will come up slowly like this, maybe Bitcoin and the others will come slowly like this. So they will simply be the reverse of this. So when it comes slowly up, maybe Bitcoin will give a correction and go slowly down before the next move. So before the next move, super important, super interesting, I'd say, for DXY to know what it will do. So if it keeps dumping, then Bitcoin will probably keep pumping, but super interesting, this one. So I'll keep in mind DXY and see what's coming for it. And silver, just like I said, same thing as gold, but this one is less cleaner. You have a drop, up move, correction, up move. All right, this is probably a running flat, and then a drop. So it completes your regular flat for an upside and come and retest the top. Now compared to gold, it could also be that your running flat is not done, and the reason why, I don't know if it broke the top. If it did, then there's more chance that this is a running flat that is done, and that you're done with the correction. All right, and that you're going up to retest the top. And if it's not broken, all right, we need to check out. I'll do it pretty quick right there. From what I see, looks like it didn't. All right, so if it didn't, and looks like it didn't, I'm not sure. We need to check multiple broker, but if it didn't, then this could be your B wave right there, your C wave like this, and this becomes right there, sorry, your A move, your B move, and your C move, and this your impulse. So it becomes maybe a running flat. So it could be a running flat, so one more push up before the up move, but I don't think so. In fact, we'll need this small correction sometime before breaking the top. Otherwise it could happen, but this looks clean enough for me to come and retest the top. We'll see it anyway. We need that small flag, and it started to get to a small flag right there. So might be it, and we'll see next week. Probably this one we'll see it. All right, so for stocks, starting with Tesla, I'm still looking for that correction. I don't know if I still have it. I don't think so, but I'm looking for a correction for that drop. All right, it will happen. Look at this drop. Look at the time frame. We will have a small correction, at least I would say at least bigger than this one. All right, at least bigger than all the one that we have. And the reason why is those correction, for example, this one has a small correction, a drop, then probably an expanding. So this is probably your bigger correction. All right, this is probably a regular flat on its own, then a drop. So the correction will be at least bigger than this one or the expanding. All right, and the reason why is this regular flat, which is pretty ugly, but let's say it's a regular flat, came for a correction. This was a correction for that drop. All right, now see the other drop, it's even bigger than this drop, and that's why the correction might even be bigger. All right, that's what we're looking for, an upside for a correction. So at this point, you're not looking to sell, you're looking to buy. All right, clearly this is not a selling point. It's just like if you were selling right there. Right, it doesn't make sense. Even more if you have this retracement just before. So looking for at least a slow move up, then another drop. All right, but mostly a move up, and at the best this is a correction that is done, which I don't think is the case, but it's still possible, and breaks the top straight up. So at least look for that small up. All right, so a smaller time frame, it's not ready yet, I think. So I actually it could start with this, brings an impulse and then starts. All right, but mostly you'll see it when it starts, it comes with a big impulse. All right, we'll see if it explodes, then it could be, all right, the start of that reversal. But if it don't, which I think it's not, all right, seeing this, then it could go like this and make one more push up before you get the actual move. All right, so Apple, same thing. I think all the stocks are the same. Apple is different. This one is just like I said, we've seen this time. I think I'll put the arrow for each analysis, and I won't move it for next week, so we could keep a track on those assets. But this one, just like I said, I didn't touch it yet, but this was an up move, complete this running flat. All right, so an up move, complete this running flat with this A, this B, and this C. All right, complete it and give another push down to break the low. And whenever this push will happen, we'll break the low, and we might even complete this flat right there, which will be a regular flat. All right, this will be a perfect opportunity for everyone investing on Apple. And even that right now, it could also be an opportunity. So if I was you right there, I want to invest on Apple, I'll probably drop some money right there and wait. If it comes straight up and it's a regular flat that is already done, which is possible, then I'll be in the trade. And if it does make a running flat and come back down, first of all, I could be selling right there. But if that's only if that's a trade, I could be selling right there. All right, selling some, give it that running flat and buying some again. All right, and if it's for investment, I'd only be buying. So buying one time there, buying one time there. So you buy 2 times. And when it comes up, you're in the trade. All right, so most of the time you'll get those patterns, and you need to find your strategy with those. Knowing that this is the direction, you'll need to find your strategy and how you can make more money, knowing that it's going that way. All right, so Meta, just like I said, bigger time frame, it's clear we're looking for a retracement. All right, so big correction, we're looking for a correction, at least for this big drop. Now, is it the start of the correction? I'd say that it is. All right, I told you last week, this is impulse, this is a correction, this is exactly what you're looking. All right, when it's about a reversal, you're looking for an impulse, a correction, and then it comes back. All right, it comes up, and this now is an impulse in the bigger time frame. All right, and this is exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for an impulse, and we're looking for a correction in the bigger time frame, that it needs to start with an impulse in the bigger time frame. That's why I always say look for an impulse, a big impulse and a big flag if that's the returnment, because this tells us that we're going for a bigger structure. So at least it will be a bigger structure, and if it keeps giving small correction, then it will be even bigger structure. All right, and we're looking for that big structure because we've got a big impulse down. So simple. I think you'll understand it better from what I said right now. But basically, looking up, and this could be the start of it. So we're looking for that arrow, and especially this should be a slow move. So even if it starts like this can slow down, make correction, and be a slow move, but eventually this is looking upside. All right, Google, I think it's the same thing. Yeah, exactly the same thing. Now this could be 1 to 3 this could be a regular flat for downside. All right, and I think it is. So let me go in the smaller time frame. See, I think it really is. Yeah, I think it is. All right, so I think you're looking for something like this. See, make a regular flat, come back down, then ABC, regular flat, come back down. I think you still have some power, some momentum left to come and make a new low before you get the up move. All right, so I would look for an up, break the top, and look for sells. All right, now Twitter, I think, I don't know if it moved, but actually I was looking for an upside, break the top, then come back down. I think it did this during the week, right? And we're still looking for it to come and tag the top before going down. So it's a matter of time. It will surely tag the top, then go down. So we're looking for it to tag the top, then go down. All right, now Amazon, this is what we're looking for. All right, we're looking for an upside correction for that drop. All right, and this is what we're looking for, but actually no, be careful, because this could be a running flag. All right, you have this impulse, this correction, this could be an impulse for a drop. This could literally be a running flag. Now if it comes and break the top and range, that means that you're going for the bigger structure, which is exactly this arrow. All right, so we're looking basically for a correction for that drop. All right, and the correction should be at least bigger than what we've got previously, so at least bigger than this and this. And if it's at least bigger than that, it's looking like this arrow. All right, but at best it will be a big correction. So just like this one was a big correction for that drop. All right, so a big correction for that drop before we get either a contracting, either running flat, but we need that first piece, which is a correction going slowly up. All right, this could literally be it if we break the top and we give a correction after that. All right, so Microsoft, and this one looking to sell. All right, this is looking for sells, and it will probably do that before, so complete this regular flat before going for sells. Now again, super important, this is going above the trend line. So if it comes up and goes straight up down, but that you know already that's a regular flat and it bounced off that trend line. All right, but if it actually goes above the trend line and gives a correction, then you know that you're not in the regular flat anymore and you're coming to maybe retest the top or at least give a bigger correction. So maybe this will give a bigger correction before going to break the top if you make a flag right there. All right, or simply straight up break the top. That's why if you get this flag, it's perfect to buy. All right, and if you don't, then this could come down deeper. All right, now seeing how it is right there, I think it's a small flag. All right, small flat to come and retest the top. I would not be surprised to if it does retest the top, but also I would not be surprised if it does go slowly and makes a running flat, for example. So that's why good opportunity to buy if you get that flag, and if you don't, it's looking for sells. All right, so that's about it for today's video, guys. I hope you guys like it, and I hope you guys learned a little bit more about the wave theory in this analysis. So this video will be pretty long. Many things have changed, and I really do think that you'll learn a little more from it, and you'll at least know what's coming in the next weeks. So I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, feel free to share it with your friends, and also leave a comment, a feedback, and don't forget that to join my Discord, my community channel. On the description, you'll find the link, so you can join and ask questions and chill with the other people. So make sure you do that, and also leave it, like I said, leave a feedback, as I'm trying to improve my videos and be as clear as possible and share all my knowledge, of course, for free. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode. Peace.